There.
All right, there we go. Hey guys, welcome to another split screen sessions. This time we have the beautiful Mickey Guyton. How are you doing?
I am doing so good. I'm here in Nashville, working it out, pregnant, the usual.
Yeah, how okay, so that being said, that was actually one of the first things I was gonna ask you. How is it being pregnant during quarantine, essentially?
It was really crazy. I thank God. I kind of really appreciate it because that first trimester,
Yeah,
let
yeah.
me tell you, it is it is rough. So it's been really nice to just be stuck inside because that's all I would want to do anyway.
That's actually a very good point. You're not pressured to go anywhere or do anything, you know?
It's literally your body at any given time is like, you need to go to sleep. And you don't
Right,
have a choice in that matter. And you're just like half hours later and you're asleep. So
right. Exactly. I love it. Do you have any crazy like what are those called?
craving.
God, what yeah, cravings, there it is.
And, anything citrus, watermelon is my best friend. Let me tell you, some watermelon, is great. But lemon bars, my God, like that right there. And I've really gotten into like baking. So I was baking lemon
Right.
bar, anything sweet. Hi, Rose Hernandez. Hello.
Yeah, but honestly, I have never baked so much since before this quarantine. Like
Oh,
I think I baked just as much during quarantine and as I have the rest of my entire other life.
so are you a baker or are you a cooker? Are you like
Well,
a
actually, okay. So that's a good point. I got this it's not a typical air fryer. It's an Instant Pot one where it
yes,
almost yeah, it can be used as like a toaster oven.
yeah.
And so I'm like, instead of baking, I really am just air frying a bunch of stuff.
You can like air fry like chocolate chip cookies?
Yes. And yeah, and here's the thing, to me it actually tastes better because I love it when the outside is super duper crispy, but the inside is gushy.
Yes.
So, oh my God, I've done that. I've air fried like jalapeno poppers. I even make little mini pizzas that I air fry.
Really?
Yeah, and that's all just been like I literally got it. I think we went into lockdown in March, and I
Yeah.
think like a week later I got both an Instant Pot and an instant air fryer that like can also be used to like bake stuff.
God. So did you have like a really fun socially distance, gathering yesterday?
No, actually, I just I on I'm not going to say on here what I did because it's but I just like the entire day and
How
that's you know what, I don't know how you feel about it. I've kind of just given up on this year on trying to do any type of socializing or anything.
what's crazy is I'm actually an introvert extrovert. So I'm really good at making people think that I'm super social, but I'm actually the exact opposite. So this has been great for me. And I was stuck in California the entire time, the quarantine. I just got back to Nashville like 3 days ago.
Oh, I didn't know that. So you've been dealing with what we've been dealing with.
Oh, yeah. So before I got pregnant, I was very much so doing the same.
Really? So like were you worried about like so when did you leave? Were the fires already happening or did you get out before the fires?
Got out before the fire. So it was March 13th, right when the city locked down. I was in Nashville living my best life. And my husband lives in California. And he was like, "What the hell are you doing? You need to bring yourself back home now. Like now."
Right. Right.
Okay. God, don't get off my back. And as soon as we got into LA, the whole city shut down. And that was crazy
Yeah,
to see. Like,
absolutely.
nobody on the road was like, whoa.
That's the thing. I remember, you're right. I remember seeing pictures of the highway. I've never seen a highway in LA with so few cars. I don't even think there were any at that time because it was like it was shelter in place at that time.
Yeah, there was no smog, there was nothing. So we would take random rides around the city just because we had absolutely nothing else to do. And
Right.
well, joyrides, and it was nobody on the road at 5 o'clock in the evening.
So when did you get back to Nashville?
I got back to Nashville like 3 days ago on
Oh,
Saturday. Wait, 4 days ago, Saturday, whatever. I don't even know, to be honest. I don't even know what day it is, but yeah.
I don't think I'm pretty sure this entire year none of us knows what day it actually is.
Basically Christmas right now. Like it is like no holiday there is. It's just
I'm
Christmas.
about to put up my Christmas lights. I'm not gonna lie.
Might as well. Like this year is just we are not living our best lives, man. We
Right.
really
Exactly. So let me ask you this. So Billboard magazine named you country's female game changer.
know.
So like how cool is that to be named and like do you feel like you're a game changer?
You know, I've really done is just like write songs that mean something to me. And this time, oh, I love you too, Roy. I've
What's up,
I've
Roy?
I've just been writing stuff that really meant something to me. And I've seen a lot. I've been in, Nashville for a very long time. And I just wrote about my feelings. And for people to say that about me, like I don't feel like that a lot of the time. I'm barely getting by, to be honest. So it's just crazy for people to say that.
So because here's the thing, I would say, you're being in country, you're breaking down a lot of barriers for sure.
Yeah.
And especially like, I love seeing talented women specifically in country
Yeah.
um coming up because it is such a male dominated culture, I guess, or industry.
Women.
So how much pressure, if there is any, I mean, you being yourself is beautiful enough. But do you feel pressure to, be essentially you in the
Yeah.
country industry?
I do. I do. I feel the pressure because there's all about this balance because there are so many opinions and people can get so easily offended and then they come for you on social media. And a lot of times, like I was getting a lot of pushback on social media from people pregnant and feeling like completely bullied sometimes by
Wow.
people
Like they were
like
mom shaming you?
but not they didn't know I was pregnant, but they were just shaming me for speaking out on certain things. But it's like, I appreciate you for even speaking on the issues with women in country music because it is so difficult and it's so all I want is for people to care and that's it. And I'm just trying to raise awareness because most people don't even know that this is happening.
Right.
And so long we've been so quiet about it and a lot of times people want to blame it on radio, but it's not just radio. It's an entire industry problem from record labels to booking agents. Like it starts there and radio's only getting what they get. So it's
And you know what? And I've spoken about that. I forget who it was, but even trying to get booked on Broadway in Nashville as a woman. I
mhm.
hear, I don't know all the behind the scenes, but I hear it's really difficult to be booked as a woman just on
Yeah.
Broadway in Nashville and potentially even be discovered.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a whole system that has just been really hard and we're trying to stay positive, but it's hard to stay positive when we're not getting the opportunities and we're like, you guys, like help us,
And
please.
then you bring women of color into the fold,
Yeah.
and I imagine that is probably 10 times more
Yeah.
difficult.
It's you would think it's
Sorry, I
hard
didn't mean to get like super deep all of a sudden.
as deep as you want. It's just as hard. Like I would like to say that being a black woman it's hard, but honestly, it is like when you're a blonde-haired, blue-eyed country singer, there's so many women that are blonde-haired, blue-eyed country singers, and a lot of times treated like, oh, well, we already got one of you. It's like,
Yeah.
but you don't, so it's difficult all across the board. It is.
Is it, have you, I mean, I can't imagine, I hope it's not like 100% difficult. Like, I'm sure there are parts where you've celebrated and you've been like, you know what, I'm breaking down barriers, and I'm going to be as successful as I can be. And I'm sure there are things to celebrate.
Yes.
I hope.
Absolutely. As hard as it's been, there are so many champions in this community that have brought me up and considered me and given me so many opportunities that I wouldn't have. And so it's important for people to see that too. Like, there are a lot of difficulties, but there's a lot of beautiful people in the community too that want this change. Like you're talking about this on your station. Like that.
I call myself like a country music feminist, to be honest. Like, it's just because it's so, like, I'm forced to listen to the music minimum 4 hours a day because that's my shift. And I'm like, if I hear one more dude, come on.
And there's so many good women out there. Like, there's some really, really great songs out there. If people just like give it a chance,
Yeah. Like when Maddie and Tay died from a broken heart, finally, after I think like 54 weeks, made it to #1. Like, that was a celebration for sure.
See, like that's like an entire pregnancy and, having the baby and going through maternity leave. That's how long it takes.
Right. Exactly. I don't know if you saw this comment. Edward said, we need more ladies.
Yeah.
So thank you for representing that, by the way.
I will talk about it till I'm blue in the face. People need to know we're not angry. We're just trying to be matter of fact, like, help us, please. And request, support us.
Yeah. Absolutely. Especially like working as a pregnant woman.
Yeah.
My goodness. Like, you're Superwoman right now.
Oh my God. It's like, now it's so crazy when you become pregnant. It's like everything changes. I used to be up on revolve.com shopping for clothes for myself. And now I'm like, give me all the money. Keep it in the account. I gotta.
Oh, there you go. So I do want to talk about your new single. It's called Heaven Down Here, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So what is that, like, personally? How personal is that song to you?
That song is extremely personal for me. I was in downtown Los Angeles. I live in downtown Los Angeles part of the time. And I wrote that song right when all of the protests had just got started.
Oh.
I was seeing them outside of my window. And it was way more beautiful than what you see on the media. Like, the media only shows like
the riots and
the riots. But they didn't show all of these beautiful people coming together. That was so peaceful. But I did hear, sound bombs, and I did hear, a lot of what was going on. And I was just so emotional about it. Like, we're in a pandemic. There's not a single person in the world that is living their best life.
Right. Correct.
Like, that's how serious this is. So I was dealing with feeling that, and that I was dealing with seeing all of these riots and seeing the protests. And I was just like, God, like, I know you're up there, and I know you must be looking at us like, what are y'all doing? Like,
right. It's like, what does the entire world need to learn, God? What are you trying to teach literally 7 trillion people, or however many is on this earth?
Like, what is happening? So I was like, man, the world would be so much better if there was a little heaven down here. Like, what do you think? What if you just give us a little bit of extra love that you got, please? Like, help us. So that's where that song came from. And I remember when I was writing that song, I recorded it on Zoom. I wrote it through Zoom. And I was just an emotional wreck. I think that day that I wrote it, I was just like sobbing because I was just releasing all of these feelings that I think so many of us were feeling.
Yeah. I think I can't imagine anyone that at some point in the last 6 months has not cried, essentially, you know.
Oh my God, no way.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just because like even though like to me, like even if you're an introvert, you know, you still require human connection of some sort.
And when you see your friends that you can't even hug them, like I'm a hugger. Like I want to hug people and say, "Hey, how are you?" And we're like, dab and
Yeah.
elf. Like what? Like, and just this year, like we were able to be out with our friends and communicate and travel and do all of these things. We had all these plans. I was going to go to Greece this year.
Right. I was going to go to a lot of concerts that got canceled, sadly.
Concerts, like that right there alone is just hurting this industry. And I know everybody feels that way. Like this is just like part of what makes us who we are is gone. And
Yeah,
how do
absolutely.
we, and I know just, and it's not just my industry, it's the world as a whole. Like there's people that can't buy food right now. There's people getting evicted from their homes right now. What the hell is going on, you know?
Right. Yeah, exactly. I want to get to I'm not sure if there are any questions. Hopefully the producer will pop one up. But before we get to those questions though, I do want to ask you one thing though, because you know, during this quarantine, there's obviously always a lesson in things, you know, and for me it's to not you know, I think my main lesson is actually just to not take advantage of the people in my life, seeing them face to face.
Mm-hmm.
Know? Like, what would you say you learned?
I've learned that your family and your friends are so important. And you're right. Like, don't take that for granted. Like, so often, like, oh, I'll get to that later. Oh, I'll see you later. Oh, whatever,
Yep.
later. But what if you don't get later? Like, look at Kobe Bryant and his daughter,
Yep.
like, that's a lesson within itself. Like, we all are not, we're all mortal. And it's so important. Like your family is so important. And like I haven't gotten to see my parents since January. And they're
Yep.
getting older and like they are so important. And that's kind of my lesson is like your family and your friends. Human our humans are so much more important than showing the world how great your life is.
Yep.
Like hand phone down and have a conversation with someone and actually be in those moments with people. That's what's important.
Yeah. Absolutely. Because it's like, how much can we actually even show on Instagram right now? We're not doing anything.
And I'm like, where are you? Because I was, you know,
Yeah.
it,
Austin, do we have any questions for Mickey Guyton out there? Will the Edward is asking, will the EP be available on vinyl?
so far, no, but that is a good idea because I have a record player back there that I should have that on vinyl too. Yeah.
I feel like vinyls are the only thing that is actually increasing in sales physically at this point because I bought a record player too
Yeah.
recently.
They sound so good, when you're cooking on your Instapot and you just have, you know, and playing in the background or something. It makes you feel retro and you're sipping on your whiskey. Yeah, we've all.
Absolutely. Jennifer's asking boy or girl, do you know?
I don't know yet, but I'm going to find out my next visit. So I'll let you know.
Okay. All right. And last question here. How do you stay positive with so many obstacles thrown your way? Especially you are such an amazing artist with an incredible voice and incredible songwriting skills. You are
Uh,
doing it all right now. That is frustrating.
you know, I stay positive. First of all, I feel when I don't feel positive, I let myself feel that way. Like it's okay. Like giving yourself grace to feel sad is okay. And then once I'm able to feel that, I come out on the other side. I'm positive. And I also always remember and always try to remember that there's so much more good than there is bad. No matter what the media is showing you, there's so much good, more good than bad. And your phones literally show you the news and stuff that you click on. So stop clicking on all the negative news. Like, get it off your screen. Don't listen to it. It's not important for you. Just look at the facts and nothing else. And that will help you stay positive.
Yeah. Wow, that's very smart. That's something I should do too.
I read this article, and every single person's phone, whatever your mind goes to towards that news, your phone literally caters to what that is. So a lot of times you're getting oversaturated with that, and it's not good for your mind. It's not.
Right.
Just quick.
I mean, it's tough though. It's like it's an addiction, you know. It really is difficult. Last thing I want to ask before I let you go. This might be a sore subject, but do you know, are there any plans at this point to get back out on the road at all?
So far, no. Right now, my only plans are to just push out this music, have this baby, and then I'll get out on the road. But nothing really set in stone on the road yet still for me. So
May I ask, do you know when you're due?
yes, February 12th.
Oh, okay, good. And so do you think that you'll be a mother on the road with your baby, or are you gonna, or would you rather not?
Just better get strapped on in. It's gonna just stay. I'm like, my husband was like, "Oh, the baby can stay with me." I'm like, "No, no."
I love it. All right, well, Mickey, guys, thank you so much for joining us, and I really hope to see you in Sacramento when you're allowed to be back on the road for sure. Okay. Oops. Did you go? Oh, okay. Well, Mickey, Guyton, thank you so much for joining us.
I'm back.
Oh, there you go. But yeah, so whenever you get a chance to come out to Sacramento, I can't wait to see you.
Yes, absolutely. Sorry, I don't know where I went, but
All good. No worries. All right. Talk to you soon.
thank you. Bye.
Bye.